Today, we want to make some predictions. You ready? You ready to speak to the future?
Yeah. I've kind of tapped into my inner weatherman.
There you go.
Forecast mentality here. So do some forecasting.
Yeah, let's do some forecasting. I like this idea. Dustin and I are going to talk about our podcasting predictions for 2026. I think this is important just to kind of look ahead, see what we're seeing on the landscape, speak to it directly, and then maybe at this time next year, Dustin, we'll look back and see if we've made any sense at all. Yeah. Or if we're just a bunch of idiots. I don't know. I don't know. So we're going to walk through the 5 predictions here, okay? I'm going to give you a few. Dustin's going to give you a few. And then we're going to land the plane. The big thing that I'm seeing, I'm going to start off with number 1. My first prediction for podcasting in 2026 is that video podcasting is going to continue to boom.
What?
Crazy, right? I think we're going to see more and more platforms optimized for video podcasting. You're already seeing it with YouTube becoming one of the biggest podcast platforms that there is out there from a video standpoint. And Dustin, I was on a call the other day with one of our clients, the whole entire team. There was like 6 or 7 of them on there. And I asked in the call, just off the cuff. I didn't plan this. I didn't do anything. We were talking about the importance of the YouTube channel and having a video presence with the podcast. And I said, raise your hand if in the last 12 months you have watched a podcast episode on your TV in your living room. And dude, 5 of the 6 of them raised their hands.
Wow.
And it wasn't just the young people, it wasn't just the old people, it was all of them, right? Like all of them collectively raised their hand and said that. And I know I have done that. I'm assuming you have done that, Dustin.
I was thinking about my house. There's 4 people in here. I can tell you that's true for 3 of the 4 of us have definitely done that.
Wild, right? And it was funny because I was talking to another client and they said, oh, some of you, those Gen Zers were telling us that we needed to get on TikTok more because nobody watches podcasts. And I kind of stopped them and I was like, I think they do watch podcasts. They just don't realize they're watching podcasts.
Ooh.
Because they're not calling it a podcast. They might call it a show. They might call it their content or whatever. They're not putting episode 12 after the title, right? They're just creating the content in a conversational way. And they're consuming it as Gen Zers or whatever, Gen X, whatever the young folks are called nowadays, right? And they are consuming that, but they're just not realizing it. And the reason that this is my prediction too is I don't know if you've heard, but Netflix has been starting to make some noise about bringing podcasting content onto their platform. And as the time of this recording, they're also negotiating with buying Warner Brothers, which is also a crazy, so if Netflix is trying to do the Warner Brothers deal as well as leverage their platform for podcasting, I'm thinking in 2026, we're going to see a lot more video podcasting. And so if you haven't gotten in the game yet, it's time to get in the game. Number 2 is I think what we're going to see, we're already seeing it a little bit, but I think it's going to be even heightened in 2026 is we're going to see community around the podcast becoming more important. We're already seeing a drop in the importance of subscriber numbers and different things like that, follower counts on social, right? We're seeing that drop, and it's now the content is the most important and it's going to find its audience. So I think what we need to do around the idea of podcasting is we need to create better community around it. How can we get people engaged in deeper levels? And obviously around here in 1898, we encourage the podcast to be the number one business sales opportunity for you, right? The thing that works for you 24/7. And ultimately that podcast driving people to community, that the community drives people into your business and ultimately growing your business through podcasting. right?
Yeah, it's having all the other things that go along with it that's going to drive the importance of your podcast existing,
Yeah.
right? So we're talking about coaching with content here. So as a coach or a consultant or whatever you have in the client-based world that you live in,
Yeah.
being able to create a community of whether it be a free thing that you do on Slack or Discord or anything like that, being able to do that, have membership client portals, right? Being able to do that is going to create that digital community, which it kind of naturally boomed out of COVID anyway.
Yep.
With the kind of the explosion of Zoom. Now we're seeing curated communities, and part of that curated community is ongoing content like podcasts. And I'll say too, just back to your first point, Golden Globes have announced podcasting as a category.
No way.
Yeah. So that too. They also talk about podcasting going global. The Golden Globes now have a podcasting category, which one of my favorite podcasts, Smartless, is up for.
That's amazing. I did not know that. And so that just directly speaks to what we're talking about here today. Like it means that there's going to be a lot of people getting in the pool, but to the point of the communities, that means that you're going to be able to find your audience, and maybe you don't have 1 million subscribers. Maybe you don't have 1 million listeners or downloads, but you're speaking directly to the right people and getting them to move. And now you're seeing your business grow in really cool ways. And so this is super cool. And I love that you brought that up, that they are making that a category, because that speaks to that reality. And so we're going to see it in 2026.